So now that the shock and awe has worn off from the delay of GTA 6, I've seen a lot of people say, like, I just don't care anymore. I do not want to even think about the game anymore. I'm sick of it. I've seen people be angry. I've seen people be sad. But what does it actually mean? What is coming next for GTA 6? And like, what can we expect next from the gaming industry as a whole? Because basically this year has been based around that. And I thought the best person to probably look at for that is Luke Stevens. He's wired in with the whole gaming industry and of course been following the GTA 6 thing. And he put this video up, I believe, yesterday. And I'm curious what he has to say, because what is next? What happens now?
Everybody, it's real. It's true. It's confirmed. GTA 6 delayed to next year,
which we talked about yesterday. I think I was one of the first people to have a video up about it.
Release date. You know, surprisingly enough, we didn't have a release date prior to this.
That is true. We've never had a release date for GTA 6 until now. So that is like the one good thing to come out of it. But I think people are worried it's still going to get delayed, even though that happens.
We didn't. We had a release window, which was late 2025. Prior to that, it was early 2025. So it was kind of delayed, but not super publicly, into late 2025. And now it's been pushed from whatever that release date would have been, probably late October, early November. And it's been pushed to May 26th. Over a year away. Over a year. Some people are kind of getting sloppy with the language, being like, oh, so they delayed it a year. I don't think that's technically true. I think they technically delayed it about 6 months, maybe 7 months from when they were going to release it. But from today, yeah, it's over a year. So it's over a year away now. And, you know, there is to a certain extent.
I believe originally it wasn't fall 2025. I think it was spring 2025 was the original leak. I don't know if that was like an official statement, but
a surprise to this, because it's like, oh, wow, really? After all this time, after all of this hype, they're just pushing it back. But as Joraptor tweeted out here, we've been here before. See y'all in October 2026.
So he thinks it's going to get delayed again.
This goes back to a super chat from one of you where is it Eric gave $5 and said, is GTA just delayed because it's not finished? How can it not be finished after 12 years? Well, the thing is, for one, this has not been in development for 12 years, to be clear. Yeah. They made Red Dead 2 in between these two games. So they most likely kicked off full development on this in like 2019. So it's been like 6 years, to be fair. But secondly, this has happened before. The initial dates for Red Dead 2, as Jor clipped here, were fall of 2017. And then it was delayed to spring of 2018.
Oh, then similar it was delayed
to this
again.
Delay from fall, winter of 2025 into May of 26.
Oh,
and then
Jesus,
you know what happened
could
after
you
that?
imagine?
It was delayed again into October of 2018. So a lot of people, a lot of people are looking at this being like, okay, so GTA 6 is coming in October. Like, let's like,
that's what it looks like.
Just accept it now. And it's possible. It's very, very possible, because here's the deal. If you want Rockstar quality and polish, that takes time.
Okay, here's something I don't know. I didn't play GTA 5 at launch. I didn't play GTA 5 till like last year. And then Red Dead, I did play right at launch, but I can't remember. Was the game fully polished or was it super buggy at launch? You're gonna have to let me know, because he's saying, based off of what he's saying, it was super polished, but I don't know that for sure.
It just does. But that's what makes, it's one of the things that makes Rockstar games special, is that they are given that time and that ability to polish and refine everything they wanted to do. So they don't have to make concessions. They don't have to cut stuff out in order to get it across the finish line. You know, even we were just talking the other day about AC Shadows, how they had a ton of different stuff that they cut out of that game because they just had to get it out the door, because
there was enough stuff in that game. That game is too long as it is. There's enough stuff.
Weren't going to be given a delay. And then, you know, Outlaws flopped, and then that made Ubisoft go, oh my God, we need to delay. And so they delayed it and, you know, started seething about Expedition 33. But, you know, this is just what makes Rockstar special, is that they're given the ability to delay it and make it the way that they need it. So I would say, if they do end up launching, like the initial delay of Red Dead 2, if they end up launching in May, sweet. If they need to push it to the fall of next year, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with it. So long as what we get is Rockstar quality. But this is why they delay it like this. This is why they do it, because it takes that time. And at this point, you know, it's like they've been running a marathon and they are a mile from the finish line. This is not the time to you know, push yourself so hard that you dislocate your knee and like have to crawl across the finish line busted and broken. This is the time where like,
what
we've
an
done the vast
analogy.
majority of the work. Let's finish strong but not go crazy. Let's not rush it. Let's not get sloppy. Let's do it, because again, GTA 6 represents a massive investment for Take-Two, and it's also not just investment, it's also massive stakes. Their entire company, people ask this all the time if they're not overly familiar. People ask like, oh, so if I buy into GTA or Take-Two, the parent company of GTA, if I buy into them now and, you know, GTA 6 launches in a year or 6 months or whatever, and it does well, then my investment will go up. Not necessarily, because at this point, the release of those games are built into the price. Every investor.
See that right down there, right where my mouse is. That was yesterday.
Has already built into this stock price GTA 6's release. And they also built into the stock price up until about 4 hours ago, GTA 6 releasing this fiscal year, this financial year. But you know what has happened? Well, look what happened the moment that they announced it was delayed. Skadoosh. And it's because of the time value of money.
So this says 1.79%. It dropped to I believe 7% down yesterday.
We're expecting a big payday this fall, and now they've been told they need to wait another 6 months after that. And that makes a lot of investors frustrated and dissatisfied. And so they've decided to adjust their valuation. But that's why for Take-Two, like, this stock price is assuming everything that's currently like agreed upon about GTA 6 is true. Theoretically, if GTA 6 launches now in May or whatever, you know, this settles at 225, that's what they think the firm is worth per share if it performs the way they expect it to. If it overperforms, this goes up. If it underperforms, it goes down. But the expectations
are so high
for GTA 6 are ungodly. I mean,
I don't even know if they
sky
can.
high, okay, so they have to live up to that standard. They have to do that. Take-Two boss Strauss Zelnick moves to reassure shareholders as stock falls on GTA 6 delay news, which, I mean, of course they were going to have to do this. They were going to have to come out and explain it and kind of calm nerves a little bit. Zelnick himself commented saying,
how does IGN have so many articles that are just like brain dead obvious? They must have like a billion writers who just are like, write the most obvious things and make them as long as possible.
Take-Two backs Rockstar in its decision to delay GTA 6 and told shareholders the company expects to deliver a multi-year period of growth, which, if you want to know what gets investors hard, say multi-year period of growth. That gets them. Talk sweetly to me.
RockHawk5 donated $10 through Super Chat. So Rockstar has had 6 uninterrupted years since RDR2 to work solely on GTA 6, and yet they still need an extra 6 months or so to finish it? I get their games are very good, but that is inexcusable.
So this is what a lot of people are saying.
I think it's just the reality of game development. You have to remember that games made in 2025 are already significantly more complex than they were in 2018. And certainly in 2018, way more complex and difficult to juggle than in 2013, and so on and so forth. So I think you get to the point where there's just a crazy amount of complexity, and also expectations are sky high, and we also don't know what's going on in the background. It's very possible that initially they were like 30 FPS, 1440p, we'll call it good. But maybe as they've been testing and as they've been polishing and getting the final visual like bells and whistles added on, they're like, we think we could crank it to 60 if we really optimized it for like PS5 Pro, for example. So
he thinks it's mainly an optimization thing, which is possible.
Spend some extra time. Maybe they got a massive paycheck from Sony to do that. You just don't know. We don't know what we don't know, right?
Could be.
And in my experience, when developers say they need time, they actually need time. They actually do. It could be that maybe, you know, there was some mistake made that caused the delay to be needed or something. Who knows? Who knows? But Rockstar.
Could you imagine someone's mistake that delays something that long and then your stock drops 6% and
pros, and I don't think they've just been sitting on their hands for 6 years. I think they've been working their asses off and they just honestly need more time. Because bear in mind, Red Dead 2 was phenomenal, and Red Dead 2 also required 2 delays
True.
before it went out. You know? But it was worth it. It was worth it. So I think there's that.
I don't know. I don't think they can do
Thank you for the
a
10
story
from
as
both
good
of you.
as
That's
Red Dead.
fantastic. As I said, if you want to get investors rock hard, you tell them multi-year growth. Yeah, they love that. With GTA 6 and the guaranteed billions it was due to bring during the 2026 financial year now gone, what else does Take-Two have in store? Well, as owning Rockstar, Take-Two owns publisher 2K Games and 2K Sports. Gearbox's Borderlands 4 is due out in September. Mafia: The Old Country is also due out this year.
That's not going to make billions, but I bet you Mafia does way the hell better now.
Expect another lucrative NBA game from 2K Sports 2. Another further ahead, or looking further ahead. The next BioShock game is in development, as is the next game from Ken Levine.
What did he do?
Judas. And what's interesting also,
I don't know
we
that
just
one.
had a super chat mentioning AC Odyssey. Do you know the writer for Odyssey? Mel McCobrey, and you can see used to work at Quebec for 6 years, left in September of 2019 after AC Odyssey and after Immortals Phoenix Rising. And then moved to Cloud Chamber. Do you know what Cloud Chamber is working on? Do you know?
He knows. I don't.
Do you know? Let me pull it up. Let me pull up their website. They are working on the next BioShock.
Ooh.
Small world, huh? Small world. So they're working both in California and Quebec, and they're doing it at the same time. But the writers, one of the
BioShock
writers
is
that worked on
unreal.
AC Odyssey, one of the lead writers, is now over there. And it's interesting to bring over somebody that
Was Odyssey?
previously
Did it
had
have-
most of their experience in like big RPGs.
I was gonna say open
Now
world.
working on a BioShock game. So it makes me think that the BioShock game is maybe going to be a lot bigger and
They better
crazier
not
than
do
you expect.
open
But
world on a
as
BioShock
for
game.
exactly what this means, what this delay means, like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if they kind of boop back Mafia maybe into that October time period, give it a little bit more time to shine. But I also
Oh, he
think
thinks they're gonna delay Mafia. So, okay, so this is the weirdest thing about what happened. Okay, this is by far the weirdest thing. They push up Borderlands 4 closer to Mafia, and then they delay GTA. We thought they were pushing up Borderlands to give more room for GTA, but then GTA is delayed. So then what he's saying is maybe they push back Mafia into that time slot after for their Q4 launch. I don't know. It's weird, man. It's super, super
that
weird.
this delay means that Judas, I previously thought Judas was maybe like May-ish, April, May of next year.
What is
Because bear in
Judas?
mind, they showed off Judas back, I think it was at this point like 9 months ago.
Oh, this is the one that
Judas,
looks like...
it was like they went on the FBS podcast, I think. Oh, they also did an IGN thing where Jeff
So Ken Levine was the person that did BioShock Infinite, and he's working on Judas, which looks incredibly so much like BioShock. So there's your answer. I think I saw that game, but I didn't remember it.
Keeley was just sitting there for some reason. It's just,
Oh, they just pulled it up
sat
anyway.
next to Jeff actually at the Bungie thing. It was funny. He's just he's very like he's just funny. He's just a funny guy. I don't even know how to explain it. He gives off the same energy as like a really excited 13-year-old who is in a candy store. It's just funny. Like he's just a funny guy. But this was what? 1 year ago, March of 2024. Over a year ago, they did this whole marketing campaign thing where they showcased the like new gameplay, where they did some
I forgot
podcast
about it.
things and they talked about it, where they talked on the FPS podcast. This is the guy, Ryan McCaffrey, who is like the executive editor at IGN in charge of like reviews and stuff. So they did this whole rigmarole, this whole thing showing the game off, and then said nothing for over a year. I don't know why. Ken historically has needed lots of delays on his games. Bear in mind, his last game was BioShock Infinite.
That's what I was saying.
That was 2013. Okay, so he takes
How good
some
was
time.
the story in that
given
game,
it
though?
by Take-Two. So, or I guess rather 2K, but you know what I mean. So I think that the odds of maybe them having Judas, I mean, maybe that's the surprise thing for the fall. Maybe that slides in.
It could be and that'll be Summer Games Fest when that like gets announced, showing whatever.
Into October, November, they just drop Judas before the holidays. That would be crazy, but it's not impossible now. Or Judas ends up sliding into early next year. Maybe it goes into late next year, but at some point you'd think they'd be like, dude, you got to get your game out the door. And it looked pretty far along in this. And they also said that they let these people play it. So they let them actually try it for themselves. What they showed was not like super early footage either. Like it was pretty far
Looks like
along.
freaking
So
BioShock though.
I figured that's got to be pretty close, right?
Yeah, there could be a surprise announcement.
But this GTA 6 delay now opens up a lot. It really
This
does.
is the part that I want to hear. Battlefield.
It really, really does. So I think most likely what we see is come June, we're going to see a bunch of announcements for projects that are launching in that October to November window that previously was completely empty because everybody wanted to stay away from GTA 6. So I think you'll see an announcement of that Black Flag remake. I think you'll also hear an announcement of a couple surprises. I've
Battlefield
heard
for
some
sure.
rumblings about them, and you know, there's a potential that maybe some surprising stuff is revealed relatively soon.
Does anybody know what the surprises are? They in the comments? What are the surprises? I don't know what the surprises
That
are.
will slide into that time frame, but it's also possible that like 2K and Take-Two themselves rearrange some of their releases. I don't think they moved Borderlands; they just moved that up.
Yeah.
So I don't know why they would need to delay it again. Plus, it's like kind of a bad look to move your game forward by a week and a half, only to delay it again. That would just be weird. So I think we probably see maybe Mafia leave that like late summer window and get booped back. That's possible. But time will tell. They have the option. They have the opportunity now because GTA was just like this black hole sucking all the energy up.
Syed Saeem donated 1,000 rupees through Super Chat.
Thank you, my friend.
I love you, Luke.
I love you
How
too.
much is
Thanks for
1,000
watching. Glad
rupees?
to have you. Thank you. It's very generous. That's wonderful. Yeah, the Elder Scrolls 6. No, I don't think we'll see Elder Scrolls 6 in November. Can you imagine if they're like, the next expansion for Starfield is the Elder Scrolls 6? Todd's done it again. Oh my God. What can't this guy do? Man. Hopefully this period helps the industry pop out quality. I was losing hope. I think, you know, one theory.
Dude, we've had quality this year. I can't even deny that. Like Expedition 33, Split Fiction, all of these.
Saw from an industry analyst that's not in the gaming sector. He covers like electronics. I forget what outlet he's with, but I saw it on Seeking Alpha. He said that he suspects part of the consideration for the delay of GTA 6 was that they are anticipating GTA 6 needing to convert a lot of console sales in order to reach full profitability. In other words, the current install base and user base for PS5 and Xbox Series X and all those is not big enough to generate enough revenue for GTA.
But the weird part about that is that they're already talking about the next generation console and some of that coming next year, and that's just going to screw with that even more.
6 to be profitable. So they are anticipating needing to get a lot of converts from PS4 and Xbox One that haven't upgraded yet. And they need those people to buy PS5s, PS5 Pros, Xbox Series consoles, and all of that.
Well, especially because the rumor is that it's not coming to PC at launch. So maybe that's another thing that they're working on, having it, if they want to hit their numbers at launch, maybe it needs to come out day one PC.
And the reason why this guy's theory was part of the consideration is the delay gives them more time to make it better, blah, 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 you know, of course. But also it gives more time for all of this tariff stuff to get sorted out, because if everything remains the same, untouched, ceteris paribus, as it's said in Latin, all else equal, it's likely that consoles by this fall to winter, around the original release date, could end up being $150 to $200 more expensive.
They already
in
are.
the US compared to what they are even now, even after the price hikes from Xbox. Okay. So you might be seeing, unless deals get sorted out, like consoles going for $750, $850, $900 come the fall and holiday season. If
Imagine
no
what
trade deal
graphics
is
cards
made.
are going to
Now,
go for.
A lot of investors think there will be a deal made because, of various things that have happened today in the last few days. That's why the stock market is up right now. But if all that falls apart, then there could be a problem, if GTA is like, we need a lot of people.
You want to hear what's crappy though? You want to hear what's crappy? Even if they fix that deal, like they whatever the tariffs are, whatever the problem is, if they fix it, that Xbox price hike, that PlayStation price hike, this game price hike will never go back down. That's inflation. That's the way inflation works. It never goes the other way. Because the second it goes the other way, apparently that's what causes a recession. Why? I don't know, but that's what I'm told.
to buy into this generation, and they can't afford an $800 console right now. So we're just going to delay it and buy some time. That might also be part of the consideration. Just to not even risk it. Which I thought was interesting.
So he's saying, no, people would get too mad if I say that. Never
I
mind.
hadn't heard that little fold, that little wrinkle explored, but I think that there actually is another.
You can figure it out.
Piece of that.
What I was gonna say.
I really do. But all of this to say, I think the delay of GTA 6 makes sense from a lot of different angles, not just like concerns about hardware sales and converting those to new copies. Also just buying time and polish. Looking historically, like Joe Raptor clipped here, at the way they handled Red Dead 2, where they had to delay that twice, eventually landing a full year after the initial launch date. So I think all of this makes sense in all these different angles. But I think the funniest thing, as I alluded to in the video this morning, is that sense in all these different angles. Landing a full copies, also just buying time.
Notice
and
something.
Polish. Looking historically.
Okay.
Like Joe Raptor clipped here, the way they.
Once it had a final date, they never changed the final date. Once it had an actual number date associated with it, like it didn't say May 26, for example, it said spring.
Handled Red Dead 2, where they had to delay that
right
twice.
As soon as it had an actual
eventually
date, that's when it came out.
Year after the initial launch date.
And by the way,
so
based off of leaks, the first launch date for GTA was supposed to be spring of 2025. So one delay would be fall of 2025, and then full launch a year later, it would be the same thing, which would be May of 2026.
So I think all of this makes sense in all these different angles. But I think the funniest thing, as I alluded to in the video this morning, the funniest piece of this is that the Horizon Online multiplayer game was originally expected, and it's kind of been rumored, to land Q2 of 2026. That puts it sometime between like April and like end of June. They have the opportunity to release the Horizon Online game next to, once again, one of the biggest games of the decade. Horizon Zero Dawn, launched right next to Breath of the Wild and the launch of the Nintendo Switch. Oops. Ended up doing well. It didn't really affect it that much, but still it got kind of drowned out initially. The second game launched right next to Elden Ring. Oops. And now they have an opportunity to do something so freaking funny. And even Jor poked fun at them for this. Meeting happening inside Guerrilla Games right now to launch the Horizon Online project on May 19th. Right before GTA 6. I wouldn't put it past them, dude. Like, they have this weird thing where they just
anything
think
about
that
the
they have,
multiplayer
like,
game that they're
biggest
doing.
thing ever, and everybody's like, no, Horizon's not bigger than GTA. And Herman's like, yes, it is. Shut up. He's fired. Get him out. Man, I kind of hope that happened. Wouldn't that be so freaking funny if that happened? Oh, dude, I would die. Mr. Steel, yo, kill. Thank you. 5 gifted memberships. That's tremendous. Thank you, my friend. Glad to have you. Luke, if prices do get that high on consoles, what reason would they have to not just jump to PC gaming? Just frankly, some people don't really like PC.
Also, keep in mind, if the price of consoles goes up, the price of PCs are going to as well.
I know it's crazy for PC gamers to think, but some people, they just like playing games in their living room, sitting on their couch. That's how they do it. Or laying in bed with the TV on the wall. They don't like sitting at their desk playing. And that's just how it is. You know, you can do that, to be fair, yeah, on PC as well, but there's a little more heavy lifting for sure. You know, it's not as simple as just plugging in a console. So I think that there's that. And there's also, you know, I think a lot of people have a misconception at how easy or difficult it is to build a PC and to get into it. A lot of people think it's really scary or intimidating.
Is he really not going to say anything about the price of PCs getting
when it's
higher
really
too?
not, but
I'm going to say something that's unpopular here to finish this off. I truly think that this is a good thing for this year in games. I think it is better if a GTA big game just takes over an entire summer. First of all, people have more time to play generally, although some people like go on vacations and stuff. But in the long run, I truly do think that it's better for what we know of this year and what is coming this year and what is coming next year as well. Now, it may mean like for 1 or 2 games that we're planning on going, then may get screwed over. But in the long run, I think it'll should be better. But at the same time, if this is the thing you've been looking forward to, and now it's delayed, I understand why people are having that reaction. And yeah, will it get delayed again? It's possible. But again, when it comes to actually showing the date, when they did that last time, that is the last time that ever happened. So if history is again repeating itself, it's the same thing, just different dates.